It's question 15. What does an ILP stand for?
Individual learning plan. Individual learners plan.
And what are the benefits of it?
Person-centered approach. It's like a holistic approach to that specific learner, identifying their learning, the plans to learning. So it's like very individualized to that one particular person.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps to set goals, I suppose, to help that learner through their learning journey, and that's what it's about. Do you use ILPs on all your programs?
No.
Not with the distance learning level 2s. Or the really short courses, like the ones that are a day. It might more just be like an initial induction and a bit of documentation along those lines. But I wouldn't say it was a very detailed, specific ILP that we use for everything.
Why is that?
I think from my perspective, I think if they're just doing, say, a day course with me, it's, you know, we have that initial induction. It's pretty obvious what the end goals are, which is to complete this course. And then we kind of have a little bit of an induction, a little chat throughout the course or the beginning to kind of, you know, say, right, what's everybody going to do after this? Or so I kind of already know why they're on this course, whether it's because of work or because they want a progression. So it's usually, I wouldn't say it was pointless, but it's not necessary as much as it would be if it was a longer course.
Yeah, the benefits have to outweigh, don't they, to do so. And I completely agree as well. There's some courses where you just wouldn't really bother with an ILP because it's just... Yeah, absolutely. So you have to weigh up the benefits of it as well. So what are the benefits to ILPs?
You understand your learner, you get know a little bit about them. And like I said, the whole question that I ask is, why are you doing this course? Because again, like we've all said, I've had it before where learners have said, well, I'm here because the job centre made me. And then you know already that you're going to have maybe a little bit of difficulty engaging or getting this learner motivated than other learners that want to be there because they want to be or they want to progress themselves. So again, it's just about you as a, you know, being able to adapt, you know, whatever you need to make sure it engages with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't argue that whatsoever. Aaron, what are the benefits of an ILP to you?
Being able to keep records as well, so if there's any malicious allegations later on that the learner hasn't, you know, if the learner says that, oh, I was on a course and no one gave me any advice, no one asked me anything, then I've got it to back myself up.
Yeah, absolutely. Record keeping is important, isn't it? Perfect. Paul, what are the benefits of an ILP for you?
I think if you're doing sort of longer programs like level 4 education training, it's going to give you a plan of what you want to do and where you want to be at certain points in time. Yeah,
absolutely. So it helps that learners to, I suppose, know when their goals are, their expectations, their coursework needs to be in as well. So that's going to help monitor their progress towards the end. Other benefits, Steve, is there anything you want to add to yours, or you? No, so sorry, just mindful that you don't particularly have the opportunity to do so.
That's where it gets a bit more tricky with some of the questions that come through.
Yeah, absolutely. But the benefits, obviously, in ILP is to help for better self-confidence and motivation. Actually, you knowing, especially when you look at, you know, I've done Unit 6 and Unit 7, I'm halfway there. Actually, that helps you to get through that mental block, I suppose, of going through the rest of the qualification. And your ILP helps to support that. What I tend to do is share your, what's it called now? Your tracking assessment across the unit, so you actually see where you are in relation to your progress. You've also got identified personal strengths and weaknesses, and it depends on how you carry out your ILP. So your SWOT analysis, maybe, but does anyone do that as part of their ILPs or not?
Not part of the ILPs, but I do it throughout some of the courses that I do.
Yeah, so whether or not you log it or not, it's a different matter, but actually identifying someone's personal strengths and weaknesses actually helps you to plan for them and helps them to come up with their own ways of how they can overcome potential weaknesses to help them complete the course. Career planning is one thing we haven't really discussed. what are your career goals? Quite a few of you said you want to do the level 6, but what's your next sort of stages? I know, Aaron, you're looking at doing your own business. Steve, you're looking down that route as well, charging out your own, you're going out on your own as well. What other ambitions do you have?
Well, mine changes weekly, doesn't it?
Maybe.
And any course that takes Aaron's fancy.
One.
Yeah. So again, what about your learners? What are their short-term and long-term career goals? Now, generally speaking, is they want to get an SI license and start working on the doors. Long they might be looking at, I don't know, working in close protection. That could be the final stage for them. But without knowing this information, we can't give them the support, the full support they may need to achieve that. Individual unique learner needs. What are individual unique needs? What are your individual unique needs?
Time management sometimes, isn't it? I suppose we've all got different time constraints.
Yeah, you might have, you know, you have to complete this course by a certain time. Paul, you've set yourself targets to complete this course. Steve, what are your unique needs? Again, you've got a lot of work that you do on a daily basis. Actually, your scheduling is very, very important to you. So that's a unique need.
It is, and obviously it's the struggles I have with putting things in writing and obviously reading the coursework bits and pieces that we have to go through as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, by knowing that information, because we had that conversation obviously before you joined the course, and actually is giving you to overcome that. Definitely any sort of particular needs for you?
No, I don't think so. I'm just kind of a get on with it. I just like to have everything put on this for Aaron.
Well, in fairness, your unique need is a bit of competition.
Well, I wouldn't really call a competition, Mark. Come on.
Okay. So your unique learner need is to beat Aaron, and that's
to beat Aaron. Yeah. I think it's always good. Yeah, it's nice that I've done it with Aaron because it's been a bit of support, hasn't it?
If Steph doesn't have competition, she just sits at home and wallows, drinks lots of wine, Matt. It's honestly, it's awful.
Gin. It's gin, Aaron. Get it right.
Anything at hand, you know, it's embarrassing. It's happened before and it'll happen again. But, you know, the healthy competition just keeps her in the game.
Yeah.
It's the support though, isn't it? Like, even though it's a bit of competition, like, it's nice that I've done it with Aaron because it is that support. And it's like, when we both get a bit of block, it'll be like, oh, we need to get this done, and it's like we push each other on. So I suppose in a way, you know, if Aaron wasn't on this course, you know, it could have went either way, to be fair. I could have absolutely blazed it and finished it by now, or I could just have got nowhere as near as far as I have. So it is useful sometimes, I suppose. A bit of competition, yeah.
Yeah, so identifying these particular needs actually can help you to create even your session planning to accommodate that. So needs of a whole learner. So again, your socioeconomic background. So what does that mean again?
Where you're from, what your financial position is, where you live, the area. You know, what opportunities do you have around you? Who do you associate with?
Yeah, absolutely. Your social networks, your work networks as well. Because again, there are benefits where you can help to look at it from our perspective, where we put people into work based on where they live, based on their interests and all that sort of stuff. Again, it makes life a lot easier. Knowing this information helps, particularly when I see job opportunities. Is, you know, because I know this information about you, I know potentially someone's looking for work. I know to tag you into these opportunities. I think, Aaron, you've done some IQA, obviously not successfully, I suppose, in some situations, but you've got some extra work out of that.
Yeah, I did. Like you said, I did some work for one of the lads. That went well, and then he put me on the centre. And I don't know what happened. I did an IQA report for them. It was just a bit all over the place. So I think we're just. I mean, me and Steph were laughing the other week, not about that, but I said, you know what, I realised since becoming an IQA is I anticipate you don't get paid off 50% of the people who you do work for, and you also don't retain 50% of the clients what you take on. Because I think people sometimes want to think they're brilliant and the standards are being met, and then when you point out they're not so great but you can help them, I don't think they take very well to it now.
It's such an awkward one as well. And I look at it from my end. It's like, can you IQA this for me? And it's like, yeah, everything's perfect. It's like, no, can you actually IQA it and actually give me places to improve? So I don't want that sort of worried about the impact it has on you. Because actually, I want value from you, not for you just to suck eggs and just tell me everything's okay. I want that expertise, I suppose. Is the way of looking at it.
Well, so I one of the jobs that I QA'd last month. Obviously, Steph knows I've been having quite a lot of problems. Is I just disagree with the tutor's decision wholeheartedly. I said I cannot pass this off in good conscience. The company who employs the tutor rang me up. She said, I think you've been a bit harsh. She spent 20 minutes just going through wordplay on Highfield standards. I was like, listen, I know these back to front, inside out. Like, there's nothing you can say is going to make me see it in a different light. Anyway, they sent the course off. It got EQA'd. It got bounced back by the EQA, and the EQA on their revision notes has put on excellent IQA reports. I was like,
you have to, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I did, yeah. I sent Steph it the other day. But, like, the person's now rang me back and said, oh, actually, can you come in and do a practical observation with the tutor and give him some standpoints? So I'm glad they've took on board that, it didn't need improving. Instead of just pushing it under the carpet and pretending it didn't happen, they've actually gone, oh, we can't really argue with it. So that's worked out pretty well.
I look at it from an EQA perspective is IQA. In fairness, I don't particularly care what the actual centre is doing. Is the IQA doing their job properly? If they are, then I've got confidence in that centre, because more often than not, IQA does, passes them through without checking any sort of quality. It's all about that. I want to clean it. You think straight away that if that IQA is their expert, again, that centre doesn't know what they're doing. So again, I can just sample a lot more than what I normally would. But within IQA, as long as the IQA is doing their job, you kind of doing the whole thing, because it's actually you're just sampling what the IQA is generally sampling and a bit on the side. But it's all about the IQA because they are the expert when it comes to it. But normally in most organizations, the IQA is like at a management sort of level, so the tutor will always be dependent on what the IQA is asking them to do. But freelance centers they're not.
The only thing we're going to see a drop off in that with all centers now requiring an IQA. So I know loads of people that have just gone and just done the first unit of the IQA course, just so the IQA security. So I think that's going to dilute, what you've just said about there should be an expert, and there should be. I think now it's, like at each stage of the SIA's requirements where tutors then have to be assessors, and now assessors potentially are going to move up to IQAs, and each time they're doing the bare minimum to get that qualification so they can start practicing.
To be honest, most IQAs don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The knowledge unit does not tell you at all for the practical. It's all good that you answer me the questions, but do it. Can you IQA? So I get a lot of IQAs complain. I had one person doing my course, one of my IQA courses, and complain because his friends went through another training provider, and to be honest, they're crap. And basically speaking, they said, oh, my friends just had to supply this evidence and they got their certificate. I said, well, I can't really speak for them, but they're not meeting any of the learning outcomes that's been asked, and you've got no evidence at all. So how can you? It's up to you. You can pay for it, and I'm happy to give you a refund. You can pay for a training provider to tell you how to do it incorrectly, or you can learn and do it properly, and then you can decide whether or not you do it properly going forward, and that's completely up to you. But it's my duty, especially when I get EQA'd by a company that I do EQA for. I have to ensure that the standards are the highest there. Otherwise, that's affecting my sort of reputation in the industry as well. Because at the end of the day, you could put even if you're IQA'd, if you're just signing off stuff, actually your name will get picked up by the awarding bodies. Especially if you ever go down the route of I want to be an EQA. Like, oh no, Aaron, he's crap. It's that reputation that's going to really affect your potential going forward as well. So just one thing I say, if you're working for freelance for other centres, is make sure you have a written agreement in place when it comes to your payment as well. So actually legally cover your own back. And a lot of people think that they can write terms and conditions based on the internet, and none of them will hold up in court whatsoever. And I paid £1,000 for mine to cover
Really?
the company back, and at least I know if I do any work, I'll get that money, no problem, because it's all been signed off and done properly. But again, you need to ensure that you follow those processes as well. It's better that you think about the money you could lose if you don't have effective terms and conditions. Also, ILP benefits is providing opportunity for better coaching and mentoring opportunities. So what is coaching?
Helping someone, lifting them up.
Yeah, so potentially coaching, you don't necessarily have to be in the same industry, to coach someone. It's more of like an approach to how to help people to develop. And mentoring is more so, within like a specialist within your own sort of organization, or someone who's been there in the same sort of sector. And again, coaching and mentoring is the next unit on from this anyway. Any questions with benefits and ILP? And you've already done this. So how do you structure your ILP? So we've already gone through this, haven't we? Can anyone just remind me what your structure is?
What do you mean the structure, how it's laid out?
Yeah, how's your ILP? So think like maybe your funded provider.
So it starts off with our details, learning details, prerequisites to the course, like what do you hope to take away from this course, what's your understanding of it, and then it goes through in the kind of stages. So now you've started the course, we're now on the first day. Out of 10, how confident are you? And then for the mid-season, for the mid-review, and then the kind of exit review at the end.
Yeah, so you have to be important as well. Your outputs are going to be dependent upon your inputs. So what information are you putting in there? What do you want to get out of it as well?
Yeah, so sometimes learning journals can go in there as well, and also feedback from your personal tutor, if it's a personal tutor, is a tutor seeing that your performance is matching where your levels and expectations have hiked up to. I think I'm at a 9. Tutors kind of got to put in there, well, I agree you've done a lot better, but let's keep our standards high level and not think we're well above where we are, because that can cause, especially in the ILPs, if someone's looking through the ILP and the person's putting down all the way through, I think we're at a 9. In fact, the work's at a 6. We've got to level it out.
Yeah, and that's where progress will be important as well. We're saying actually, why do you think you're at 9 when really you think you're at a 6? And that's just identify. Yeah. But there might be other sort of performance goals needed to determine as well. So again, immediately you look at your self-assessment. Have you, are you accurate with your self-assessments? Are you, justifying the reasons you do so as well? You think about key thing, I suppose, for an IRP is your progress reviews. Are you meeting those targets? Do you need to amend them? And what actions are you going to take out of each sort of meeting? And potentially what the value that IRP brings to your learners. So do they actually see the value in that process? I've with some of the learners on this course, I've pretty much begged them to come and make contact to go through your IRP, and unresponsive, so they don't really see the value in that. So again, what you put in is what you'll get out of it as well. But like anything you do, really, KPIs, the whole works. What are the benefits for your training provider, though?
Well, statistical information. They can look back on course dropouts. Can they put things in place to improve? You can look at a pool of ILPs and say, well, actually, the 3 people who had reservations about time management have dropped out. What can we do? Do we need reasonable adjustments? Can we put night courses on? Also, from a financial increment, if they've got 50 ILPs and everyone's completed, they might say, well, maybe it's time to put the course prices up.
Yeah, potentially. You've also got things like record as well. So from what happens with learner complaints, blah blah blah. Let's say, for example, you quit your job and you start your own company. You've also got that continuation, then you know exactly what's been said or the progress learners are at, because they've got your reports as well. Whereas you could be impacting and I've seen this before actually, where key personnel have left training centres and they just left learners have no clue where they are. We had it actually in, I can't really name the awarding body, when I did my EQA course through. I I completed the qualification, was waiting for my certificate, and I got an email saying this person's now left the company. Where are you with everything? It's like, well, I'm waiting for my certificate. So again, it's that doesn't really look good on an organization if they're coming back to you and saying, so what work have you done? Where's your work? All that sort of stuff. And I've already done it. I expect you, as the training provider to manage all that on my behalf because I'm learning. But hey ho. So you've also got a structure of an ILP to look at, and these are things to consider as well. You got your 4 areas of focus. So why are learners on the course? So you might want to start with the academic goals, what are the reasons for them, potentially the next sort of aspect as well. Consider functional skills or minimum core that are weaknesses, and in this case might be literacy, digital skills, or even thinking about core employment skills, which you'll need to carry out the desired role. So within security, what other employability skills would they potentially need to work on? And lastly, think about social targets. Again, learners may need help socially to help them to maintain their progress and help them to, maintain mental health during the course as well. Try not to neglect any sort of social element with your ILP, because actually that's equally as important as well. Then you've also got the second stage is creating habits of success. So learners need to know what they need to do to succeed. So again, being consistent. What do they need to do if they achieve well? So again, repeating steps time after time after again. So you think about like the sort of feedback we give you in your work is actually it's quite consistent about what to expect. And again, that's encouraging you to get to a point where you naturally draft that work. And you've started to do it now, actually, where you draft that work to the right level because you know exactly what is expected within you. You could also revise before exams. Think about like habits that learners could take within your studies. So normally speaking, before you do an assessment, you might do like a revision test or something like that, especially when you do your exams on different days. Again, getting in that mind frame as well. This is what they need to do. They need to go home and revise these sort of basic skills we're trying to teach them as well. Smart objectives are things that we've already covered anyway. So think about attendance, maybe might be a target. You need to be there every day. You need to attend, you need to participate. These are objectives for learners as well. Even timelines submitting work if you're actually setting deadlines. So for the diploma, you're kind of set soft deadlines and it's ultimately down to you. But when it comes to that 2 years point is, that's the end of the qualification. You need to pay registration fees again. So again, these are goals that you can set them. Who else is going to be involved in the learners as well? We've already gone through quite a few different ones, but how will they help that learner to get through their course? So you might look at can local employers potentially come in, interview your learners, especially in security? Again, any other professionals that you might bring in to support, even counsellors, or I suppose difficult for you, Steve, because again, each company is going to be different. But again, who could you help to come in to help with career advice and that sort of thing as well? Again, former student. And one thing I'll probably look at some of you guys actually come back and say, right, can you come in? And one particular reason why I've invited you to join the other course is you've gone through that process and you can actually give an impartial support with learners as well about your experiences. And there are many people who've gone on to, get from any sort of teaching and qualification they've done, that people have gone into, high level jobs like university lecturers as well, corporate trainers earning, nearly 80, 90 grand a year, which is great. And that's what they're the sort of individuals that learners look up to. Then you've also got collecting data. So why would you collect data?
Again, to reflect back on, to cover any statistical analysis, to review, to learn from.
Yeah, this data is critical if you're doing funded courses, actually, because it's all about where learners go. But most stakeholders will want statistics about employment, and that's sort of the key reason of the course. So you got if you're teaching FREC, for example, Paul, this amount of learners have gone on to work, in this career or in this sort of field afterwards. So again, that's quite useful to everyone involved. And even the corporate sort of thing that I need to start putting out there is actually, once you complete this course, these amount of learners have started to earn this sort of money in these industries, which, you know, is good for helping people to come on the courses. So question 15 is explaining the purpose of an ILP. So again, the verb is explain. Again, you're going to get more out of it the more depth you go into this sort of answer as well. So how would you complete an ILP? And give examples of an ILP you have set for your learner. So talk about your, if you do them for the funded programs, give examples of the content that's in there. Give examples of the goals that you may set for your learners as well. So a goal might be, you know, we're going to set target dates. We're going to set other skills you need to do. Essentially, you might have, you know, you need to contact, you know, 5 employers by a certain time as well, if you're looking at job outcomes as part of your program. So again, these are going to be personal to each of you in your role. Any questions, or are you happy with that?
Happy.
Yeah, Steve?
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah. Think about a time when you went to university and you went through an ILP yourself. So these would be good examples to use in your studies.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to do for a few of them, is when I've not been things that link to the course that I'm doing, is trying to use experiences from university. So that's what I've tried to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so sort of the idea of the qualification is for you to go into any sort of organization and then be able to apply it. And if some won't apply to you, and it's a case of, this is what I would do in that role. This is how it's affected me before as a learner. So yeah, it's you just have to look at different sort of ways that you can answer it to meet the requirements. And how do you support your learners with personal learning targets? Now, there are things here which I don't do, and I probably don't do enough, but it all depends on the flexibility you have and potentially the time that you have set at them. So there are several methods. You've got goal setting. Why is goal setting important?
Otherwise, you don't, when people don't have goals, because you have no motivation, no structure, and just not a good way to operate, especially not in education.
I think as well, the lack of goals is sort of no follow through or no accountability because of that. Therefore, you know, what's the point? And that's when it goes back to that motivation, doesn't it? Again, you might want to assess the level of skills or even past skills of significance that could impact what you're doing as well. So you talk about, maybe you've got individuals who worked in different security settings. Again, can you identify those skills that they've established in previous careers and how that would be flexible towards them? Personalized learning plans? Do you set any personalized learning plans?
No.
No? Paul?
No.
So again, look at, it's all going to depend on the course that you run as well. Short courses wouldn't do it, but you might set other targets outside of your ILPs as well. So you might look down the routes of potentially coaching, or again, what I'm looking at introducing is, for some learners, is can we go, you know, their goal might be, I'm looking for a new career in teaching. So actually we might set them different goals, you know, within a career, rather than just to the individual course. Again, look at the overall I suppose spectrum of what will be covered as part of your course. Smart targets, we've all covered smart targets. Again, how do we set smart targets? What does S stand for?
Smart, specific,
yeah.
Measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based.
Yeah. So would me completing the marathon tomorrow be achievable?
I don't know, have you been running?
Not particularly.
Hell no, then you'll die.
Depends what time you want to do it in, Matt.
Sorry?
Depends what time you're planning to do it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might manage it, but they've changed it to Snickers now.
Yeah. So it's possible I could do it, but is it realistic?
No.
Probably not. And yeah. So you have to think about, do all these align as well? So we have to think about all 5 parts. Again, learning target dates. When do you expect the work to be in by? When do you expect them to complete their work? When do you expect them? And again, how much do you need to enforce them? Again, I can't really enforce your smart targets. You have as much right as you want to delay them because you're busy. You know, there's very little impact on that. What are peer reviews? This is sort of a different concept when it comes to learning targets.
Do you mean like peer feedback?
Yeah, you get feedback from me, but who else can give you feedback?
Your peers, so your other learners.
Yeah, perfect. So one thing, I suppose, when it comes to the Facebook group, it hasn't really been used in sort of the ideal way. Whereas WhatsApp appears to be a bit more, still working towards it, but I'm hoping that will help people reflect a bit more. Aaron and Steph, I can imagine you do this quite a bit anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what does it do to you?
It motivates you, and it gives you ideas. It helps you reflect things without fear of persecution, or like sometimes you want to bounce ideas off someone that isn't going to look at you and think you're an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said at the beginning, Matt, isn't it imposter syndrome? Sometimes it's nice to have people around you who can help you, motivate yourself towards not feeling like an imposter.
Yeah, I don't think it matters who your teacher is. You're always going to have that. You're going to be more open to those on your class than you are, your teachers, regardless of that relationship you have with them as well. And another idea as well is presentations. So present your goals as, you ever heard sort of the saying is, if you set yourself a goal and you put it on social media, this is what I'm going to do, it holds you, more accountable, I suppose, because actually people think you're an idiot if you don't actually meet that goal. Again, it's a lot stronger as well. So in a way, you could set your own goals during like little, I might look at doing this later on for the other course, but we could look at presentations. So what do you think from the unit have you taken most from? What were your biggest challenges? And again, last week, Aaron, you were saying actually about Unit 1, your biggest challenge was understanding the verbs and getting them right. So
it wasn't understanding them. It was not being that lazy that I think I'd get away with minimising them. That's what it was. I knew what they were. I just thought, it won't need that much.
Yeah, and in fairness, I do this as well, and I do this a lot with even level 2s of actually how much can I get away with not doing it, because actually as humans we're sort of inclined to do the least possible to get through it, and that's absolutely normal as well. And that's actually a review of presentations. You can actually review that sort of information as well. How would you can you set action plans? These are sort of loose of what you can present as part of it. Is how would you what are your goals, I suppose, for the next unit, and how would you overcome that? So there might be things like, and I really struggle to manage my time on this one, but you say, you know what, someone else might say, yeah, I found the same problem. Shall we team up and we can work together and go through it and come up with a study plan? And say, yeah, these are sort of things that you could encourage with presentations as well. And there are other sort of ways that you can establish these targets. So they don't necessarily need to be from you as a tutor, but they can be, you can help to create these skills, just make your learners aware of these are things they could do to help them through their studies as well. So there's more options out there. So question 16 is to give a list of 3 of those ways, analyze the effectiveness of each. So what are the benefits and what are the limitations, or in this matter, it's the positive and negative aspects of each, and give examples of how you can establish these within your personal learning targets. How would you establish them? So again, you might look at, we're going to buddy up 2 individuals to work together. Steph and Aaron, you've already sort of done that. Look at different ways you can incorporate them into your teaching. Anyone add anything to question 16? No. And we're getting towards the end. So the last question as well is, why do you, and in fairness, we don't really need a PowerPoint for this, so what's the importance of reviewing targets?
To see if they're still realistic.
Yeah.
To see that we need to make changes.
Yeah, you might need to make amendments to a program potentially. You might need to, as a teacher, you might need to change the way you deliver something. It might be the way that you need to change target dates or how evidence will be captured. What else?
To give the learners motivation.
Yeah. Now think about, Steve, I'm going to use you as an example. So you had an issue with your computer, haven't you?
Yeah.
How's that affected your progress?
Well, it stalled my progress because obviously I had to restart one module. I was partway through one module I wrote, which is on there. I found my hard disk now. I can see someone get it off, so I don't have to rewrite a whole module if I can help it. But it's trying to find somebody who can do it who won't cost an arm and a leg for it potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So just knowing that actually helps me to determine why, targets may not have been met. So actually, Steve's done the work. It would make sense as well for him not to redo the work and actually get that hardware issue dealt with. Now, again, I understand that Steve is incredibly busy with teaching pretty much every single day and every evening of the week, which makes it difficult to fit in that time for studies. I know other learners who have, stopped because they've taken on another job or whatever, and it's just affected their progress. Another learner I know is having a baby or getting married. So again, these are going to massively impact the learner's progress. Again, looking at different things that you are all personally doing, and just being aware of that helps you to, I suppose, reset goals. Again, adjust your targets, and potentially, the importance of this course may have changed because of other personal things that have happened as well, which is going to happen. Maybe there are external things going on which are. I'll give you an example. Actually, I signed up to do a course through the learning curve, which I keep getting pestered about completing, and they keep saying, right, if you don't complete this, you're going to pay a £100 admin fee, which I know full well they can't really enforce. But the reality of it is that course has no significant importance to me, and it doesn't matter to me if I finish that course or not. It's going to make no difference to my life. I'm doing it for my own self-development, but at the same time it's not going to impact anything else, and there's more important things I need to deal with than that. So if I get a spare hour, I've got a choice between, do I continue my studies, which really has limited benefit to me, or do I spend time marking through your work? And that's more important to me than going through that. So you just have to be aware of your different targets and how that's going to affect your learners completing your courses. So we go back to why people drop out of the courses. These are why it's important that we review progress and targets, because actually we can deal with these problems before they become massive problems that it's too late to overcome. Yeah, so the earlier we can identify these issues, the earlier we can resolve it, so it doesn't get too big a problem in that situation. Any questions? Are you happy with this question?
Yeah.
So it's quite a straightforward one. But remember, so that's sort of the end of Unit 17. Sorry, Unit 8. I don't know why that was there. So the key to this sort of unit is for you to look at it from a tutoring rather than a teaching perspective. Yeah, and that's where downfall will be on this unit, is you're addressing the question from a teacher rather than a tutor. So remember, the tutor is sort of the person for it's Aaron again. So the tutor is the person responsible for the overall, learner studies, whereas the teacher is kind of designated at one particular subject. So just be mindful that you will all act as probably with the exception to Steve, you'll all act as a tutor as part of your job responsibilities anyway. But just within your answers, just try and separate the two if you can. So where there's areas where there is overlap with Unit 3 in particular, where you are looking at it from a teaching perspective, but you need to look at it from the tutoring perspective instead. And that's where the biggest issue will be, I think. Yeah, any questions? No. Aaron, any questions? Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Well, after seeing the score, I'm not over the moon, but
Yeah, me neither.
I just looked up there and was like, oh.
Yeah. There's always next week. Steve, are you happy?
Yeah, I think so. It's just a question of just trying to muck down and just get some more bits done. If I can try and, by the time we do the next session, try and get 2 or 3 units done if I can find the time for it all. But I'm hoping some of my evening stuff will quieten down a little bit, or I might get some more odd gaps during the day coming up, but we just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know whether obviously there is the possibility you could like fix yourself some like permanent time, maybe one evening to do stuff. Only you can make that decision, but
it's trying to. I just get odd weeks where I get a whole load of work comes in, and then or as soon as I get time off, it's just people just drop a whole load of stuff a minute. So I just got to get stuff done out of the way, and it's not much fun at the minute for that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I completely understand, and that sort of happens as well. Just keep me posted, I suppose, when you're ready. But we've got, I've got it in my calendar now, and I'm going to do that this evening. Is to send you feedback, so you've got that.
Yeah.
And watch Sunday nights are good for you, aren't they?
Sorry.
Sunday nights work for you.
Yeah, Sunday nights are good for me because Sundays. The only thing I tend to do on a Sunday is I'm out of the football season now, so I've got no football. I've got one event at the end of the month. Other than that, my Sundays are, unless someone's desperate for a course because I can't fit them in during the week till July, or I end up with a one-to-one on a Sunday. Normally, Sunday evening is my night off that I get, so that's my time to try and, where I can, try and muddle down and get some more work done.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so Sunday nights, I'm generally on call Sunday nights, but if you're sort of open to, we can arrange something for a Sunday evening on the basis I could get called out and cancel it.
Which wouldn't be an issue. Completely understandable.
Yeah, but I will. I'll send you the feedback tonight, and maybe we can reschedule for in 2 weeks, potentially 2 weeks. I just realised I'm going to be on Friday next week.
2 weeks time, it's bank holiday weekend. I've got a football event on that day. I'm not sure what time I'm back from Dawlish.
Okay.
So in theory, weekends after that shouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Lovely. Paul, you happy with everything? You're you're looking at, the next end of this year, early next year to get everything complete as well. Yeah. Again, you're relatively busy with work and your business anyway, so yeah, that makes sense. You're on Unit 2 anyway, so
yeah, I am. Yeah,
through the hard bit as well. So yeah, I think you're good.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, look at how many questions there are, and set a target for each question.
Yeah,
I think that'll probably be the best bet for me. So I have a target date for each question, and then a target date for any addendums.
Yeah, absolutely. Your structure is actually really good. It's very simple to follow. I was talking the other day, like 13,000 questions to find that amendment is impossible, and it's just really mind-numbing to do so. But I'm glad you do it that way. Stephanie, you're good?
Yeah, all good.
How are you getting on with Unit? You're on 7 or 8 now, aren't you? 8 now.
I think I've got one more question on 7, and then I'm ready to submit, and then crack on with this one.
Yeah, lovely. Question for you: are you around on Wednesday?
Me?
Yeah.
Let me just check. Give me a minute. Got like 5 jobs, so you'll just have to give me a second.
Yeah, no.
Wednesday would be fine. What time were you thinking?
Well, we've got Steve. Steve is off on Wednesday. Aaron is engaged in the morning, so we're potentially looking at doing a Sunday evening to catch up on Unit 10. If you're open to that, obviously it'll be beneficial. Yeah. But again,
what's
it's that
10? Is 10 the IQA?
Sorry.
what's Unit 10? Is that the IQ? Are you on about Unit 10?
Unit 10 is coaching and mentoring.
Oh, which one's the IQA? Is that 11?
That's 11.
11. Oh, sorry then. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so with Unit, other than Steve, all three of you got IQA, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Unit 11, technically you can all be RPL'd against that as well. So
I'm
whether
going to ask that. So I've already uploaded my IQA set to me drive, so do I not need to do anything else? Is that it?
you don't need to do it because we can use that towards your unit. Again, we're going to do probably one of the evenings, and I'll let you know which one it is the leading sort of IQA is part of that, but it's not really part of the diploma. But again, we're going to run that as standalone as well, so you're more than welcome to attend that session as well, just so get you a bit more confidence within that. And it's like chairing meetings, that sort of thing we kind of look at from an IQA lead as well, so would be quite useful. Again, you're more than welcome. That's going to be done as a sort of a staggered, 4 to 6 week course in the evening. So going to go through the whole sort of lot anyway, which you're more than welcome to cling on to the lead IQA part as well, because that will help you.
Yeah.
I think.
Thanks.
So will we get certificated for that lead IQA one if we pay?
Yeah, I need to do all the sort of the website stuff to go with it, but obviously being a current learner, I'll do you a very, very, very special deal, which will not be open to anyone else.
No problem. I'll appreciate that. Sign me up.
That'd be the full shebang, and then obviously Unit 12 is EQA, and then lastly is the training needs analysis, which, in fairness, all of you will do in your own sort of professional roles anyway. So again, it's the different ways of going about that. So we can talk about the evidence you'll capture for that on Unit 13, but you're nearly getting there now, which is good.
Have you got a start date for the level 6, Matt?
Honestly, no. My obviously childcare is throwing everything in the back burner at the moment. So potentially I might just do it as a self-study only. Yeah. It'll take me a few weeks to put together at least the PDFs to get going. We've got so.
I can live with a self-study.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So what we've done as well, level 6 will incorporate. It's not going to be anywhere near as long for you guys because actually it's incorporating a lot of. What I'll do as well is you've got a mapping guide, and we'll tell you if you've already done the diploma. Literally, because it's different awarding bodies, you probably have to redo the whole question. But there's nothing wrong to say, in question 14 in Unit 3, copy that into this workbook here, and that'll be fine. And I
like where your head's at.
Yes, so I'm not making note of my records as well, because it's good for me to. I've already given you feedback on that, so actually it saves feedback again when you've already got it. Again, it's going to be your quickest route to getting to level 6. I suppose your next route after that is do you want to go down the point of MA in teaching, education, management, that sort of thing.
I've got to just keep going. I've just got to keep going, Matt, until Stephanie's 1,700 children take over her life and she can no longer keep up with studies. That's where we need to get to.
You're just not going to beat me. I'm sorry, but you're not. Kids are not. I'm going to absolutely wipe the floor with you.
What we do, I'm going to concentrate on level 6 as we're looking at doing level 4, which will then equate the whole thing to a teaching degree. So again, looking at it from a different angle, but I don't think looking at the level 7 is, I'm not really interested in delivering that because it's quite boring in my opinion. It's all about policies and procedures and all that sort of stuff, which isn't really me. So, but I know organisations that deliver it, but whether or not they're going to be any good, I couldn't verify all that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. We're going to be back again on Thursday night to go through Unit 1. Again, it's more about the different learning theories, Skinner, Pavlov, Rogers, and all those lovely individuals, which you've already all passed on that unit anyway. So so that'll be Unit one on Thursday if you do want to join as well.
And what time is the Wednesday one? Day or evening?
Wednesday, we're not going to push ahead with the Wednesday one, Paul.
No? Okay.
Pretty much no one's available other than Stephanie, so we're just going to be scheduled for a Sunday evening, I think.
Okay.
If that works for everyone. Which again, you can more than welcome to join them as well. Yeah, because it's just. I think it's better we delay it about a month because everyone's going to be closer towards that unit.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Any sort of questions?
No. I still haven't received those handouts that was going to be posted.
My guy has just disappeared off the earth, so I'm going to have to redo them somewhere.
Okay.
And get them sent out. So you're not the only one. Strange is just ignoring any message and not responding to anything.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because I posted them all I gave them all the printouts to send it all off and said, have you done this or not? And nothing at all from him. Yeah. So just what you want. Just what you want. But yeah, have to look at it.
Okay.
So, anything else? Everyone happy?
I'm happy.
Cool. Right. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll be in touch. Well, I'll see you, most of you, on Thursday anyway. But
well, I'm off to an opera. That's where I'm going.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Opera?
I don't know. We're just going to a local opera. We knew it was on. We booked it about 6 months ago, and then Sarah said yesterday, the opera's tomorrow night. I was like, oh no. But we'll enjoy it once we get there.
Have fun. Not my sort of thing. I don't think I could manage the opera, but everyone's different.
I'm going to go and study and get these units smashed up.
Yeah, of course you are. Steph is going straight to the kitchen to the wine cooler to crack open the second bottle of the day.
You don't know me. You do not know me.
Right, Steve, I'm going to send you your feedback. You've got that. So waiting for you. Let's do it now. Yeah.
Right, guys, I'm off. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
See you soon, everyone.
Right. Not sure.
Right. I'll speak to you soon then, Matt.
Yeah. If you don't get an email from me in the next 5 minutes, can you just drop me a message?
Yeah, I'll have a look at it. So I'm going to go sort some bits and pieces out. Try and defrazzle after all that study. I'd love to get on and do some more module. I just need to take my head away from it all for a little bit and then try and get on with Unit 4 done.
Oh yeah, Unit 4 is a bit of it's a crappy unit, I think, in my opinion. It's more policies and procedures again, which is probably not everyone's favourite part of it.
I think sometimes the study is a bit of a struggle because it's been like being back at university and bringing back bad memories from uni. So it's a bit hard sometimes just to get going in the flow. But once I get going with coursework, the work is not too bad. It's just trying to stop people interfering with my bits of spare time that I get wanting things.
Yeah, I know the story as well. I'm hoping obviously the experience isn't like university last time.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not at all. I think I'm getting a chance to do stuff, or sometimes I get home a bit later on. It's like, I'm actually just too tired to sit down and do stuff. So, but trying to squeeze a bit more time at weekends and do some more stuff because hopefully I'll get a bit quieter over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's the thing is looking for those opportunities to do the work, and in a way you'd be foolish to turn down work to do, because otherwise it kind of increases the costs, I suppose, for you as well, which
it's one of the things. Being self-employed, it's trying to take the work while it's there, because I know at some point work's going to go very quiet, which means I'm going to have all the time to get the coursework done, but it's about trying to make the money so I can hopefully afford to live when things go a bit quiet, because I've got a feeling come July, August, everything will go flat for a while. Yeah, because when you get school holidays, a lot of people don't want courses and bits and pieces, but everyone's trying to cram everything while kids are at school and everything at the moment. I think that's where it all sort of kicks in a bit at the minute.
Right, so I'm just checking your folder, and for some reason you don't have any feedback in there for Unit 1.
You email me something over. Do you want me to try and find it and send it back to you?
No, if I haven't sent you, I've got your actual unit. I'm just looking for the feedback I've done for you. So
you sent me feedback for it. I've got the feedback somewhere.
I thought I sent you like a blank form.
You did for Unit 3, not for Unit 1. Unit 1, you did actually send me some proper paperwork.
Okay, let me find Unit 3 a second, because otherwise I'm gonna have to redo that one, which I would like to avoid again if I've already done it.
Absolutely.
I hope you can relate to that as well.
No, I can.
No, I definitely did it. What, in fairness, it's probably on OneDrive. OneDrive is my computer just not syncing up. So I've transferred everything across to a different account, and I'm kind of like fearing deleting that that folder.
I think I'm not downloaded onto this hard disk, but you did send me something back for. I've definitely seen you send me something for Unit 1. I've definitely had feedback for that, but not for Unit 3.
Yeah. Of Unit 3. All right, got it. Okay. Have you got access to your folder?
No, I keep getting access and no access. Mine keeps varying.
Okay.
I seem to get locked out of it, then I get logged in, then I'm logged out. Which is why I emailed you the Unit 3.
Yeah. No, that's fine. If you have problems, it's not fine. I keep everything in your folder anyway.
Yeah. I just thought it was easier to email it to you, and go from and rather than sort of just keep waiting, because I keep having to apply for it all, and then next time I go looking again, I've got no access, or I get access, the next time I go to put something in, it's gone.
Okay, that's strange. Shouldn't really experience those problems, but yeah. Right, I found the file anyway, Steve. So it's just a case of me finding which folder I've downloaded it to send you, but I've definitely got it. But overall, it was pretty good actually.
I think once I've done a few, I'll be better with it. I think it's just finding that feet of what's required. I think once I've got 2 or 3 signed off, I'll have a better idea of what I'm doing, so I can obviously tailor the way I'm answering the questions for it all.
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a video tonight on it. On basically some of the other guys from a security background have struggled with the academic side of it. So what I've done, and I've done sort of like a template on this is how you would structure all of your answers, mainly for the evaluate and analyze stages. Again, it's not going to hurt if you did it that way for all the other ones.
Yeah.
I've kind of like written a script, and I'm going to send it off to. Yeah, I'm going to do it tonight actually. And I'll send you a copy of that, and actually you can see sort of how I would structure it. You don't need to link everything together. So a lot of people talk about, oh, so today I'm going to look at this because this is important. It's like, in fairness, no one cares about that. Just tell me what the 3 theories are, because again, it's all about the question is asking you to do that, rather than if you want to go through like an introduction of, it's up to you, but it doesn't really matter if you do it that way or not. So again, it's thinking about the convenience for yourself. You've got limited time, so again, maybe keep your answers a bit more concise about what's actually being required, because some people just blab about anything, which if it's pointless in my opinion. Like one question was like 13,000 words, and it was just a describe question. They could have got away with 600, I would have thought. It's just unnecessary. You don't really need to. So it's been sent to you, so you got that. So that's covered. Yeah, so just give us a shout if you have any questions. But I'm going to be away on Friday.
That's right. I'm not sure I can get much in between now and. I think the earliest I can get a chance to do much between now is probably Saturday at the earliest. At the moment, I've got not a lot on Saturday. Essentially nothing Sunday. But so I've got clients because it's Plymouth Half Marathon today, so I'm stacked up with clients around classes and courses.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I would probably say like 2 weeks time, maybe we look at it on Sunday evening. Just let us know if you're available or not, or even if you're ready. In fairness, just drop me a message when you're ready. We'll do it on a Sunday evening. If that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, generally Sundays, I keep my Sundays free. But I'd rather, because I know you're really busy during the week, and that sort of time will work better for you, and I think that'd be good to keep that. And it's not really a lot to do. Just as long as you're happy for me to be on call. But the rest of it is I generally don't get called out a lot anyway, but there are times I might be out for the whole evening, but I'll let you know about that anyway.
Yeah, it would be completely understandable.
But normally speaking, when I'm in the back of the fire truck, I still have access to WhatsApp and all, and I can send you a message to let you know, I might be late or whatever. So
I've got friends who retain firefighters, so don't worry. Oh,
you do? Yeah. So you understand the
yeah.
Cool. All right. I won't take up any more of your time though, Steve. Yeah, you've got your feedback now. Just if you've got any questions, just drop me a message and I can go through it if you want to.
Yeah, no problem. Brilliant. Thank you for that, Matt.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.